Welcome into the Ian Fritts Show, everybody. We have the NBA Finals Preview 2026 New York Knicks taking on the San Antonio Spurs. It is going to be a good one. I have a feeling we are going to get a very, 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 very fun NBA Finals. I like the matchup. Kind of a chess match similar to what we saw against San Antonio and the Oklahoma City Thunder in that Western Conference Finals. But before we begin, I need you guys to know, hey, subscribe down below and then follow at Ian Fritts Show on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. We're so close to 500 subscribers on YouTube, and that's a pretty big, I don't know 500 people, so that's pretty big for me, okay? So if you know anybody, get them to subscribe, get to 500, and now we will jump into this NBA Finals preview. New York Knicks, San Antonio Spurs. How did we get here, folks? So New York Knicks, San Antonio Spurs, looking at the players on each of these teams. We have celebrities in the front row, left and right, up and down, every which way in Madison Square Garden. We've got aliens on both of these teams, okay? Mainly one guy is an alien. We've got rookies performing at extraordinary levels in the NBA playoffs. We've got cat sightings, okay? Big game hunting sightings on the New York Knicks. And then we have some munchkins maybe on the New York Knicks, maybe one over on the San Antonio Spurs. If you know who I'm talking about, I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Mainly the guy on the New York Knicks. But it's a cast of characters here for the NBA Finals in 2026. It is going to be epic. It is going to be a showdown. Now, how did we get here? Okay, let's look at the New York Knicks real quick. NBA playoffs for them, okay? They beat the Atlanta Hawks in 6 games. You remember that first game they lose, heartbreaking fashion. And then they kind of claw their way back into that series. And then they just started beating the Hawks to death, beating them by 30, beating them by 30, beating them by 30. I believe the last 3 games they won by at least 25 points. It was just a beatdown of epic proportions, okay? And that theme continued for the New York Knicks as they beat the 76ers and just beat down after beat down after beat down after beat down. In the Eastern Conference semifinals, they beat the 76ers in 4 games. And then you got to the Eastern Conference Finals and you thought, oh, maybe this new look Cleveland Cavalier team is going to be able to take down these New York Knicks. Wrong. And the New York Knicks sweep them away, and they beat the Cavs in 4, okay? They're playing better on the road than they are at home. I believe they have like 122 rating on the road, which is absurdity in the playoffs. Like, that is unheard of numbers from the New York Knicks on the road, which is astounding, and we'll see if that trend continues for the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals. Now, let's look at the Spurs run to the NBA Finals. Okay, so they beat the Blazers in 5. Okay, Wemby got hurt in that one game, got the concussion. Blazers win, so San Antonio had to take an extra game. They win in 5. They beat the injured Wolves in 6 games, and Wemby, he had the elbow to Naz Reid. He didn't talk about it, no, but he didn't answer it ever. Kind of soft from Wemby there, but they still beat the Wolves in 6. And then they get to the Western Conference Finals. Everybody's saying, are they going to be able to take down the defending champs? Are they going to be able to take over home court advantage from the Oklahoma City Thunder? And they did. They beat them in 7, and the Thunder didn't have Jalen Williams or A.J. Mitchell. But hey, the Spurs beat who they were faced with. Okay, it didn't matter that they didn't have those 2 guys for Oklahoma City. That didn't matter to the Spurs. They said, hey, we're better than this team that is in front of us, and they beat them in 7. So congrats to the Spurs for getting there. Now, whose run to the NBA Finals has been more impressive? Because I think this is a legitimate debate, okay? Look, the Spurs are so young. They've never been in this situation before. They had one guy that played in a Game 7 in the playoffs before on their team, and it was De'Aaron Fox, and he looked unbelievable in the Game 7 against Oklahoma City. So they're so young. So you have that aspect, and they beat the defending champs. You have that aspect, and they beat the Anthony Edwards-led Timberwolves. You have that aspect for San Antonio, and it's their first time being in this situation. All of that is impressive. But then you go and look at the New York Knicks, okay? And how they're just absolutely thumping teams, okay? Just pounding them into the ground. It's hey, you don't beat a man while he's down. Well, the New York Knicks, they beat him up while he was down. He was laying on the ground, and he said, I surrender. And the New York Knicks said, no, you don't. And they just started wailing on him, okay? That's been the New York Knicks. So in my mind, I honestly believe what the Knicks have done has been more impressive up until this point in the playoffs. It may not even matter because they may lose to the San Antonio Spurs here in 4 games, and it doesn't even matter what they've done has been impressive. But what the Knicks have done is more impressive in my mind than what the Spurs have done up until this point in the NBA playoffs. Now, let's jump into a little bit of the matchup here. in the history between these two teams this season. Okay, regular season, their first game was in the NBA Cup Finals. Okay, the New York Knicks win that game 124-113. Wemby, he had a minutes restriction, only played 25 minutes in that game. Jalen Brunson had a nice game, 20 points, 25 points, and he looked good in that game. Cat had a nice solid game. But again, Wemby, only 25 minutes. Then you get to December 31st, New Year's Eve. These teams meet up again. You have Spurs winning 134-132 to the Knicks, okay? Wemby, again, minutes restriction in that game. 25 minutes, but the Spurs get the dub, okay? Also in that game, Julian Champagnie, maybe the hero of Game 7 for the Spurs against Oklahoma City in the Western Conference Finals. He had 6 threes. He had 11 threes when the Spurs beat the New York Knicks on New Year's Eve. Yes, you heard that correctly. He had 11 threes in that basketball game. Now, so it's 1-1 in the series. Then they had a game in early March. The New York Knicks edged out the San Antonio Spurs by 25 points. Okay, so they win 114-89. So, Wemby, no minutes restriction in that game. He played 35 minutes, but then the New York Knicks, they had Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges combined for 50 points in that one. So I'm not sure what we glean from these matchups. I looked at some of the clips from those games earlier, and I'm not sure if we can learn from them, but I think there is a trend. And it's that the Knicks, they actually match up pretty well against the San Antonio Spurs, okay? It's not some just glaring hole like the Spurs against the Thunder, where the Spurs, their best thing that they do is defend the rim. That is their best thing they do as a team, okay? It's the defense. They don't let people get to the hoop. That's the best thing the Thunder did offensively. The Spurs, or the Knicks, it's not that way, okay? They got 5 guys that can all shoot the 3. They got 5 guys that can all handle the ball, and that's going to be important in this matchup, okay? I don't know if we've learned anything from those 3 matchups, but I do think we learned one thing, and it was the New York Knicks match up better against the Spurs than the Thunder do, okay? Now, vice versa, that was if this was Thunder Knicks, I think the Thunder match up better against the Knicks than the Spurs do. But we don't have that. We have Knicks versus Spurs. Here we go. What are the factors in this series? The 6 things I will be looking at. I will be keeping my eye on each and every game. Okay, number 1, the New York Knicks. They haven't played in 9 days. When this game tips off, they haven't played in 9 days. That was the last time they played against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, it didn't affect them when they were 76ers going to play the Cleveland Cavaliers, when they had that big gap from round 2 to round 3 of the playoffs. It didn't matter. Is it going to matter? I need to see it in game 1. Are they coming out rusty? Okay, does that factor in? That's the number 1 thing I'm looking for. Or that's the first thing, maybe not number 1. Number 2, the Spurs. They're coming off a grueling, just beat down, beat up Western Conference Finals, Game 7, 7-game series, just a grueling week of basketball for the San Antonio Spurs. Does that affect them? Okay, I think those first 2 things probably cancel out. The Spurs are probably tired. They're probably beat down. The New York Knicks are a little rusty, and I think we're going to get a sloppy, slowed down Game 1 of the NBA Finals. So who can calm the storm? Who can bump off the rust? Who can put a bandage, a icy hot on their bruises and get to feeling better? That's what I'm looking for in Game 1, and that's going to be a pivotal game because I think we're going to get a close series in the NBA Finals. So who can come out in Game 1 and steal one, whether it's at home for the Spurs or on the road for the Knicks, when they're not at their peak, at their best powers right now? Those are the first 2 things I'm looking at. Number 3, Wemby's obviously going to be playing more minutes. He's probably going to be playing right around 39, 37 minutes a game. How do the New York Knicks combat that? The one time he did play that many minutes, it was actually really good for the New York Knicks. They won by 25. But that wasn't the same intensity as the NBA Finals game. That's not the same intensity as a Western Conference Finals game. Okay, so I think with those Wemby minutes being increased, the usage being increased for Victor Wembanyama, I think he's going to have a big series. Shocker, best player in the world, potentially, is going to have a big-time series. Novel idea, Ian. Novel statement. No, it's not, but it is the truth. Okay, number 4, Jalen Brunson versus Stephon Castle. Okay, I think that's probably the one matchup that we may get a lot of one-on-one action on. Okay, I'm not sure the San Antonio Spurs are going to be throwing a lot of coverages at Jalen Brunson, double team, hey, drop coverage, hey, you got help here, help there, help everywhere. Okay, I'm not sure they're going to be doing that to Jalen Brunson like they did Shea, but they may, but I think we're going to get a lot more one-on-one. Steph Castle, bigger guy, more physical guy, onto Jalen Brunson in this series. So that is the matchup that I'm looking for. Jalen Brunson offense, Steph Castle defense. How does Jalen Brunson handle it? In the regular season, He shot well against this team. He scored 25 points a game against this team. He had a good time in the regular season against the San Antonio Spurs. Again, physicality is going to be notched up. Jalen Brunson is going to be getting put in a straitjacket by Stephon Castle when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. How can Jalen Brunson get through that physicality and play through that this NBA Finals preview? I think that is the key to every single one of these games. How does Jalen Brunson respond to the physicality of Steph Castle in this series? Number 5. Attacking Brunson defensively, okay? Everybody does it every single series. Hey, that's the weakness. You go at the weakness on defense, okay? How do the New York Knicks respond to that? What is their remedy to Jalen Brunson being a weak point on defense? It's probably you're going to stick him in a corner and have him guard Julian Champagnie or Devin Vassell, okay? It's going to be him on one of those two guys. Whoever's in the corner, that's where Jalen Brunson's going to be. That is how it probably will go down. And if not, you're probably bringing him up in an action if you're the San Antonio Spurs. So we'll see how they attack him. I assume that's what they're going to do, and I assume they're going to go at him up, down, left, and right, all over, every time down the court. That is what the Spurs will probably do. It's going to be up to Brunson to respond and not be tired on that offensive end, so he still has enough defensively to fight through screens, get over screens, get under screens, run through people, play some nice defense for Jalen Brunson in pursuit of his first championship ring. The sixth and final thing I'm looking at is Karl-Anthony Towns. Foul trouble, okay? We all know Cat is an extraordinary basketball player offensively. However, it's been a talking point for years now. You see Charles Barkley on NBA on ESPN now saying, hey, what does Cat do and get all these dumb fouls? Cat's getting a dumb foul. He's got 3 fouls at halftime. You're thinking, what are you doing, Cat? And it's dumb. He's getting dumb fouls. He's away from the hoop. He just grabs the guy, and then the guy just throws the ball up. Hey, it's a foul. It's a foul. Whether we like it or not, it's a foul. He needs to stay out of foul trouble because the Knicks need him to get going offensively. They need that threat down low against Victor Wembanyama. They need that ability from Cat. He has to stay out of foul trouble. If he gets in foul trouble, this series is over, especially with the Mitchell Robinson injury in this one. We don't know how exactly he's going to respond to his pinky being broken. We don't know what he's going to look like. So they need Cat to be healthy, 1, but they need him to be out of foul trouble, number 2. Okay, what is my prediction for this series? I went back and forth on this. A lot of people are picking the Spurs, and I think, yeah, there's obviously a reason they should be picking the Spurs. And I'm going the Spurs as well. I think they get it done. I think Victor, he's the best player on planet Earth right now. And I think they get it done in 6 games, okay? I think it's going to be a longer series. I don't think it's a gentleman's sweep. I don't think it's a sweep. I think this Knicks team matches up well. This could go 7. So I was debating between Spurs in 7 or Spurs in 6, but I'm right now, I'm situated on Spurs in 6. And now we have my player power rankings for the NBA Finals. I'm going to take a sip here before I jump into my rankings for each of these teams here. So these are my combined rankings. I ranked 1 through 16, all the players in the NBA Finals. And if you look at it, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8. Okay, I believe that's correct. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we have 8 and 8. No, 9 and 7. 9 and 7. I have 9 Spurs players in the top 16, and then I have 7 Knicks players in the top 16. And again, I think those are probably those are going to be their rotations. I think those are the players that are going to get playing time in this series. And if you look at it, we've got Victor Wembanyama at number 1. We've got Jalen Brunson number 2. I have Karl-Anthony Towns at number 3. You could have Steph Castle at number 3. I wouldn't have an issue with that. But I've Cat above Castle, and so Castle's at 4. And then you look 5 through 8. I have OG Anunoby at 5. Mainly because of who he's been in the playoffs. This dude's been an animal in the playoffs. His defense, his versatility, his offense, his shooting right now is off the charts. I have him at 5. And then I have Dylan Harper at 6. Okay, what we've seen from Dylan Harper, especially in Game 6 and Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, this dude's a superstar. I'm already going to say he's a superstar, okay? He's 20 years old, and he was taken at 2 guys in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, and he's holding guys back. He's an emotional leader, and he's 20 years old. He's number 6. I have De'Aaron Fox at number 7, and then I have Mikal Bridges at number 8. So right there, through the top 8, it's 4-4. It's 4-4, okay? And then 9 through 12, we've got Devin Vassell at number 9, and then I have Josh Hart at number 10. And again, I mentioned Julian Champagnie. He's at number 11, and then Keldon Johnson is at 12 for the Spurs there. So in the top 10, it's 5-5. I think 1 through 5, the New York Knicks match up They have the same depth, same talent, same pool level there, 1 through 5 that the San Antonio Spurs do. I think it's very, very even. Now you could switch 9 through 11. Really, I think is the bunch shot is it, the Vassell, Hart, and Champagnie. They're all the same. Okay, if you're getting a good Vassell game, you're probably not getting a good Champagnie game. If you're getting a good Champagnie game, you're probably not getting a Vassell game. The reason I have Vassell ahead of both Josh Hart and Champagnie, I think he's a more well-rounded player right now. Defensively, he's awesome, okay? When Shea had Vassell on him, he wasn't that great, to be honest. But when Shea had Champagnie on him, he was cooking, okay? He was cooking. Champagnie's doing circles, doing spins, up and down, left and right, touching his toes. And then Josh Hart, I don't like his offense as much as I like Vassell's offense, but Hart defensively probably a little better. But overall, as a player, I like Vassell right now. So then I have Keldon Johnson at number 12, Mitchell Robinson 13, again, the pinky we don't know, Luke Cornett at 14, Carter Bryant at 15, and then Landry Shamet at 16 there for the New York Knicks. You could put Miles McBride here instead of Shamet. I don't care. Either one. I think the way Shamet's been shooting the 3-ball in the playoffs, especially against the Cleveland Cavaliers, you have to put him there at 16. So we got 9 Spurs players and 7 New York Knicks. I think it's a pretty even talent series-wise, okay? I love those top 5 players from the New York Knicks. I think that rest is really, really going to help them. I think they're going to get a lot of run. I don't think we're going to see a lot of guys from the New York Knicks bench. Hey, it's going to be what's his face? It's going to be Robinson coming in, Mitchell Robinson coming in, maybe 7 to 10 minutes a game. I think we're getting a lot of heavy starter minutes for the New York Knicks because they haven't played a lot. And I think they're going to be charged up, ready to roll. So that's my player power rankings. Let me know what you disagree with. Let me know who you think is going to win and in how many games. Again, if you are new, subscribe down below and then follow at Ian Fritts Show on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram as well. I love you guys. Bye.